Let's see, some of the topics that I can relate to that I talk about in my campaign is, so I've talked about certain sexual traumas that I have experienced in life in school, but I also had one in the military. And in the military, that was, you know, my experience with that, again, once more of a trigger warning, as well as this is a removing labels type thing, that when the situation happened and it was reported, and I they had the internal company hearing, the most people, their trauma would be towards men. They would be afraid to be around men. Men would trigger them in some type of way. But mine was opposite, because when the situation happened, it was my fellow soldiers who ran out to help and stop the incident. And not only that, when the hearing and the process was going, the men in my unit would come and hug me, and they would say, "You're like a little sister to me," or "You're like a daughter to me, and I can't believe this, and I'm so angry, and if I get him along, I'm gonna," like those type things. And I think having that initial immediate reaction and support from men in my unit is what made me not to have post-traumatic trauma towards men. But then vice versa, the women were like, "Oh, well, if you wouldn't have wore such and such to the football game." It's like just little different things. And then they would follow me and stalk me on the base, and those type of things made it my PTSD be opposite. So where I am with women now is that, to curb that, I've done a lot with women, and I've learned to always retrain my thinking as far as that situation was an isolated situation, and everyone is not the same. But it made me stronger in knowing that I have the ability to forgive, which is why I'm a forgiveness coach. Because forgiveness is really, for me, about learning how to set boundaries. And whether it's a male or a female, because everybody doesn't have the same experience. So I know all women aren't the same, just like all cops aren't bad, or all black people or all white people aren't the ways that we have been in divisive situation. That it's about learning to take the moment to step back and assess the situation. How am I being treated? Am I being respected or disrespected? Because that's that person. And so it's allowed me to be able to help others be able to heal and overcome things that would have normally held them bound in that situation of mental turmoil and having constant triggers. So I'm fine to be around men and women.